A map represents a portion of the Earth's surface. It has several elements such as a title, north line, scale, and key. Now, all of this has already been done in class 6 and that in detail. And this topic that we are taking right now is a mere revision of last year. So, for example, when we look at a car, it is more than 6 to 8 feet. But when we take a photograph, the exact copy of the car is much less in size in comparison. So what has happened? The car has not shrunk down. What has happened is that the photograph has been scaled down by the camera so that we can easily carry it and store it. Just like the camera scales down the photograph, we also scale down maps. That is, we use a scale in the map so that the larger area can be shown on a small paper that can be easily carried and stored. So, let us revise the definition of a scale. A scale is the ratio of distance between two places on a map to the actual distance between the same two places on the ground. So we have three different ways in which the map scale is represented. Number one, the verbal or the statement scale. Now they are word statements simply written in words indicating what a particular distance on a map would represent on the ground. The units are usually mentioned in this type of scale, and these are just statements indicating what a particular distance on a map will represent on the ground. As simple as that. Here we have the example, 2 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. Only this much is given in the map. It means 2 centimeters on the map is equal to 1 kilometer on the ground. Very basically simple written in statement. The second way in which the scale of a map is represented is graphical or linear scale. Now, this consists of a straight line which is divided into lengths that represents the given distance on the surface of the earth accordingly. It is also called the bar scale as it visually shows the scale of a map. Here you can see in the diagram here the linear scale line. It is divided into 5 equal parts. I have numbered them for you. They are 1 centimeter apart, and each of these parts represents a distance of 50 kilometers on the ground. And at the extreme left hand, one part of 1 centimeter has been subdivided into two parts, that is 5 mm each, because you can see this one is 1 centimeter and this one is equally divided into two halves, so it becomes 5 mm and two divisions of 5 mm. So if 1 centimeter represented 50 kilometers, this subdivision, each of them will represent 25 kilometers each. The third way to represent the scale on a map is a representative fraction. Now this is a numerical fraction. That is, it is expressed in a fractional manner. Two terms are associated with the representative fraction. That is, one is the numerator and the other is the denominator. Now what is a numerator? Numerator is the number above the line in a fraction. For example, in the fraction of 1 is to 50,000, 1 is the numerator and denominator is the number below the line in the fraction. For example, in a fraction of 1 is to 50,000, 50,000 is the denominator. So if I have to write this statement, RF is equal to 1 is to 50,000, I will be writing 1 on top and 50,000 below as the denominator. Even if 1 is given, that is the statement or the RF, we can easily convert both of them and get our answer as to what is the actual distance on the ground and what is the distance which has been depicted on the map. Now the conversion is not required because in a map we get all three of them. I'll just show it to you. This is the topographical sheet that I had shown you yesterday. And at the base end of it, you have the scales given out here. Number one out here, 2 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. That becomes your statement or verbal scale. 1 is to 50,000. That becomes your RF. And if we convert, we will get this same answer. And this is the graphical representation, that is the bar which is representing the same scale, that is 2 centimeters is equal to 1 kilometer. To understand maps correctly, it is important to learn how to accurately measure distance on them. This can be done in different ways. Number one is the measuring distance along a straight line, and that can be done by using a simple ruler. The second one is measuring distance along a curved line, and that can be done by two means, that is one, the divider method, and second, the twine method. But let's come back to the first one. When we are measuring distance along a straight line by using a ruler, like I have a line here A and B, and I measure them on the ruler and I get a perfect 10 centimeter line, right? So here we have a 10 centimeter line. So how do we understand that this is the distance on the map, but then how do we get to know what is the correct distance on the ground? We have the scale of the map, that is, if the scale of the map says 2 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, and the distance we just measured between A and B point is 10 centimeter. So just by using the simple metric system, we will get if 2 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, therefore 10 centimeters will be equal to, we're very smart kids, so we can easily understand what we are going to do. 2 divides 10 by 5. So here we'll have the answer 5 kilometers on the ground. Simple enough. So here when we have the second way of measuring, we have measuring distance along a curved line. Now where are the curved lines on the map? The curved lines are usually the rivers which are flowing, or the railway line which is going all around the terrain, or you have the curved roads or the car tracks. This can be done by two means. One is the divider and the second the twine. Let us understand first what a divider is. Now this is what a divider looks like. It has two sharp pointed ends to it. It is very similar to a compass. Unfortunately, I don't have a divider to show you, but all of you must be having this in your compass box. It has two pointed ends, and these ends are used to mark each point on a curved line. Now first of all, let's understand what are the steps to follow. A divider is separated. Just for example, we'll take one example. I am separating my divider at 1 centimeter, and now I'm going to measure an entire curved line. So we start at one end of the feature to be measured, and then the divider is continuously turned till the end is reached. Then the number of turns are counted, and by using the scale we calculate the actual distance on the ground. So if my scale is saying that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, and I have turned my divider 9 times, simply if I am turning it 9 times, it becomes 9 centimeter, and my scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer. Therefore, the distance on the ground is 9 kilometers. For measuring the distance along a curved line, I will be giving you a video, and you can just learn the steps in the simple language that I have jotted out here, so you can easily remember them. First of all, make a knot at one end of the twine, place it at the starting point of the feature, that is either the river or the railway line. Now then we have to place the twine along the object bit by bit, along each bend and curve, and when you reach the end of the route, mark the end with the ink. Now that is very important so that you know where you are ending. Now place the twine on the ruler, and with the knot at 0, read how much of the distance the twine has covered till the ink mark, and measure the length and convert into kilometers. Very simply, exactly like we converted with the help of the given scale.
Now, distance can be measured in two ways. One is along a straight line, if the distance between two places is along a straight line, and if the distance between two places is along, or a number of places is along a curved line. So let us first consider this distance measuring between two places which lie more or less in a straight line. So suppose this is A and B, and I can draw a straight line here connecting these two places. That's fine. And now I'll take a simple ruler like you people use, and I'll just put it here, and I can see that the distance between the two places A and B is 10 centimeters. So taking that my map scale is 2 centimeters represent 1 kilometer, I'll simply put it in unitary method. I just found out that this distance is 10 centimeters. So what I'll do is that if 2 centimeter equals to 1 kilometer on the ground, then 10 centimeters on the map is equivalent to 10 multiplied by 1 divided by 2, which is 5 kilometers on the ground. So this is simply how we measure the distance between two places if it lies more or less on a straight line, and then convert it into the scale given in a map.